You know, we deal with a lot. Life these days, the last 20 years, life be lifing. I mean,
People are afraid of shame. People are
I
afraid of
also don't
shame.
think that
And
people know how to talk about their feelings. It actually sometimes is difficult for people to say, hey, that hurt me. Like, I don't like that you did that. They might just want to, all right, she did that, bet. And walk off and deal with it like that. I mean,
that's just a good point.
yeah.
And I'm going to absolutely give you a chance to correct your behavior. I will 100% give you a chance to correct your behavior. But it's when you're given a chance and you don't. And I've already explained to you how it makes me feel. I've already explained to you how I don't like it. I've already explained to you how it's problematic for me and therefore for our relationship. And then knowing all that, you choose to not change your behavior, then that's when I timestamp.
and you're an adult, and you got to learn how to make better
Like-
choices, or make better choices that's going
Timestamp
to
is diabolical.
be good for the both of us. And I don't feel like you're doing that right now. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take that itself as, okay, you playing with me, and now you're being disrespectful towards me because I've already given you this. And then if it continues, I'm going to look at myself, be like, yo, why am I putting up with this? And that's going to send me to a whole nother level where it'd be like, all right, well, where am I going to take this? Do I need revenge, or am I going to be the bigger person? And sometimes I'd be tired of being the bigger person. So if I'm tired of being the bigger person, I'm going to go somewhere I don't want to go.
But not even revenge. Maybe just you have to show them better than you can
That's
tell
revenge,
them.
though.
Is it?
Yeah.
No. I didn't know that was revenge.
If you're going to show somebody not to mess with you, or not to play with you in that manner.
So sometimes I think that people don't understand how their actions make people feel until they experience it themselves. And so that's why I wasn't necessarily thinking of it as revenge. To me, revenge is like, oh, you went out of your way to do something to me.
Mhm.
Now I need to go out of my way proactively, directly, X, Y, and Z, and make you feel my wrath because you did something to me. To me, that's what revenge is. But what I was thinking was that it's maybe you need a lesson because, like, I told you, and maybe you just didn't understand. Fine, you know.
Yeah, but you given that lesson, who makes you the judge now?
What do you mean, judge of what?
Because I think you're using wrath. Wrath is the same as being a judge. Like you're handing down a sentence.
It's not a wrath. It's not. No, it's like no. The thing is that, like, you did something to me. Just
Got it?
let's say we're married, right? And I
Ate my cheesecake.
what?
Oh,
Pissed
okay.
me off.
I don't even. Oh, you said ate your cheesecake?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I would never do that.
It's personal pizza.
I would never do that though. Like,
It doesn't matter. It's a hypothetical.
Okay.
okay, cool. I ate your cheese, or you ate my.
I didn't check in with you, and you wanted me to check in, and I told you, listen, you got my location. That's checking enough. Boom. But you want me to do some checking nonsense.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Great. That's real good. So I'm like, okay, cool. You don't understand how important it is that I'm asking you to check in. Cool. So I think because you don't understand how I feel about it, my point of reference, so on and so forth, then maybe I need to show you the exact same actions so that you now understand what it is I'm trying to communicate to you when I want you to check in.
Yeah, but you showing me the exact same actions doesn't affect me how it affects you. That don't bother me. I never needed to check. I never needed you to check in.
Oh, I don't know.
That's why I said it's revenge, because you don't have you thinking that you're showing me something that I don't care about. That's literally revenge. You're being spiteful and doing something that you think is going to show me a lesson.
Well, I guess I'm talking about things where the people want
Have a mutual dislike
Yeah.
of behavior.
So that would be revenge then, because if it's not on the same thing, like you not checking in and I'm not checking in, now you're doing something that you know I don't like. How is that not revenge?
I would agree that it is out of spite. What I've come to realize is that people cannot have the tough conversation or come to a solution or an understanding because they have grown up to believe that they need to understand to make an adjustment. And the second that you stop thinking that you need to understand why this bothers somebody, why somebody thinks this way, why this person needs something to be a specific type of way, and you detach the fact that it doesn't make sense to you, then you can start to make the adjustment. So we go through this rabbit hole and this hamster wheel because even at a point to really, if I'm doing something out of spite, is really because I want you to understand how it's affecting me. So then maybe you can make the adjustment because, again, people don't want to make the adjustment to things that they don't understand. They think that they have to mentally be in alignment with whatever the issue is, but you don't. I don't need for you to understand. I need you to accept and adjust. I don't need you to try to align with me. I need you to accept and adjust, and when we get to that point, then we can have solutions. Then we can have fruitful relationships with one another. But if I have to understand why you have to fan yourself and it irritates me, I'm not saying that it does.
It's hot.
I'm not saying that it does. But if I have to
Take
understand,
your jacket off.
yeah. But if I have
So he
to,
understands.
if I have to understand it, like if I have to understand it for it to not bother me, we may never progress.
That
Right.
makes a lot of sense.
That's my take.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, because a lot, and this actually hit a nerve with me because I often seek to understand why somebody does something so that I don't flip out, so that I don't have like just some off the cuff reaction. I'll be like, you know what? Was there a reason why you left that sugar just on the counter like that? Was there a reason that the money was in the account but you paid the bill late? Like
Yeah.
I like to understand because it keeps me from like being like you stupid motherfucker. You know what I mean?
That doesn't sound
think
like
that's understanding.
real
Yeah, that's not
things to
understanding.
understand. That is like,
Well, my thing is when I say understand, I really don't mean to know the train of thought.
I
Right.
think I'm sorry to cut you. I think understanding and agreeing with are two different things.
So I want to understand because even if I don't agree with it, I'm like, you know what?
I understand.
Okay, that is your.
Even though
Okay,
it doesn't
cool.
make sense to me.
Yeah.
But you still don't understand
even if
why
it
it makes
doesn't
sense.
make
That's what I'm
sense to
saying.
you,
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm saying. You got to
asking.
agree with it in order to say, because whatever answer I give you is probably not going to be good enough because it's my train of thought and it's like, listen, because you would have done it differently. How about that?
No, and I'm saying that because I'm not, and I say this a lot. Like, I want to know why people do things because a lot of times people do things for a reason that was from, I don't know, from their childhood. Not that I agree with what you did, but you know what? Now I get it. I get why you made a poor decision, or I get why you did something that is not normal to me. Because you didn't grow up with cleaning up after yourself, or you didn't grow up with knowing how to cut grass, or you didn't grow up with saving, or you didn't grow up with siblings that you had to take care of. You know what I mean? So
But is that actually the answer that you're looking for when
That's
you
what I'm
ask
asking.
that? Are you looking for him to say, yeah, I didn't grow up cleaning after myself, so yeah, that's why I left the sugar there? Like, are you looking for him to
No.
say that? No.
She wants to understand the lack
No.
thereof, whatever
it's
it
like
may be.
it's like, oh, I left it there because I'm finna come back and use it in 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying? See, I think that y'all want to agree with the answer. I don't seek to agree with the answer. I just want to understand. Like, I want to know the pathology of why you make a decision. It's
But
like
what-
showing your work.
But what if it's all the time and it doesn't have a justifiable reason?
To
For
you.
example, I left the cup there. I was never coming back in 30 minutes. I just happens to slip my mind all the time.
But that's a pattern. That's just something that they do.
Yeah,
They
and maybe
drink and then they
and-
leave
And
the
choose
cups.
not to change.
and
when-
maybe and maybe because
habit
they grew
that
up
continues to do
where,
that.
and I'm just trying to make this make sense. Maybe they grew up whenever they left their cup on the table, somebody else put it in the sink for them.
Mhm.
So now that habit has now carried over throughout their life. So it doesn't actually have a justifiable reason in terms of why you're leaving it there. You're just leaving it there simply for somebody else to clean up after you.
But no, you're leaving it there is because someone has always cleaned up after
Yeah.
you. And
But I'm
so-
saying, would that be okay if they're saying I'm not?
yeah, Yeah, no, it would be okay for me. But that's what
Right.
I'm saying. I want to understand the pathology of why you do it.
No matter if
Yeah,
it makes
I
sense.
don't have to agree with it. I don't have to. It don't have to make sense because the real thing is that somewhere in your little peanut mind, it makes sense to you. You know what I mean?
So that would drive me wild because if there's there's going to be a lot about me that you don't understand because you would do it differently. So that would drive me crazy, and I would feel like I'm being judged or I'm
And you might be.
Well, I
Understood
feel
in
like the
relationships.
question in itself is your condescending way of being like, you're stupid.
what she called a peanut head.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And in
That would
her
set me off
explanation, you
immediately.
said, in your peanut head mind,
Yeah.
it makes sense
And
to
I
you.
only said peanut head because like this right here, like leaving a cup because you think somebody finna come and get it after you. That's a peanut head situation
privilege.
to me.
Or privilege.
You're right.
Yeah.
You can be privileged with a peanut head. But what I'm saying is that again, I don't agree with you saying, "Oh, I grew up privileged and someone always cleaned up after me." But you know what? Now, okay, cool. You don't have a habit of cleaning up after yourself because you did grow up privileged. Because there was always someone to clean up your messes for you. I just want to know why.
Now that you know the why, and there's not going to be an adjustment.
See, that's the problem.
So that's what I'm
Because-
trying to say.
But see, that's the problem. In this particular case, I'm just use your
Yeah.
example. In this case, you ain't got nobody to clean up after you. So now that is no longer your standard of living, you need to adjust because nobody else in this house is going to pick up after you. You see what I'm saying? I get it. If we had somebody doing exactly what you've had your entire life, leave it. I do not care. Leave it. But that's not your reality anymore. It's like you used to make $1 million and now you make only 100,000. Can you continue with the same activities you were doing at $1 million?
No, fuck no.
Exactly. So some adjustments need to be made.
Yeah, but at what point do you need to pick and choose your battles? Because that could be real petty. And
No.
if
That
but-
honestly, that one is simple communication.
Thank
If you're telling me, oh, I just did that because that's what I always do, and somebody usually just does that. Honestly, it doesn't have to be peanut head or all right, well, you don't. It's just like, all right, well, okay, from now on, just put it in the sink because I've seen you do it too many times and it's driving me crazy. So when you finish drinking, just put it in the sink when you're done.
Okay, now what happens when he
Simple.
does it again?
And again.
Right?
And again.
No.
And again.
Hold on. What happens when he does it again? And then he's going to go throw it away or put it away. It's just not on your time. What happens with that? He heard what you said, and I didn't immediately clean it up, and you got to it before me.
I mean, well, to be honest, I don't expect that to immediately change if it's a habit of him, of his. If he knows to do this years and years and years of his life, it'll probably take a little adjusting. Like it'll take some time,
Okay.
but it'll be nothing for my ass to say, hello, remember this?
Oh, see.
You said you were gonna change.
No, he didn't. He didn't. And that my thing is this.
I don't know. Just start throwing the shit on the ground. Like
You know, like,
Throwing it at his head, at his peanut head.
exasperated.
because what happens if he's like, there's only one cup. The whole house is spotless. There's only one cup. So now he can't understand why this one cup bothers you this much.
And then that'll be my time to communicate and say, yeah, the house is spotless, so this one cup is driving me nuts.
But
Because-
this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, and this is exactly kind of what I'm trying to get to. There's both lack of actually accepting the fact that they don't understand each other, but there's friction because the one thing that is bothering one person wants the other person to understand why it's bothering them and make the adjustment instead of just doing what's going to satisfy them. Example, if that is something that drives you nuts, then you pick up the cup. But now there's ego involved because you want your spouse to understand you and how you want things to be done. And because of that, now you are now at him and getting mad at him when it's only something that bothers you because you actually subconsciously want him to understand and adjust to you.
Well, it's
have a good-
also a character flaw to feel like someone is going to pick up after you for the rest of your life. Sorry.
Not necessarily. There's a lot of people that it's not a character flaw. But what I'm trying to say is
Well, what is it?
It could be privilege. I mean, listen,
Yeah, but you don't have privilege. You don't have privilege in this house.
but we don't.
But we're having a conversation. If I can hear you out and say, babe, I do this because X, Y, and Z, and it's just like, okay, cool, but from now on, can you do this? Okay, sure.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, I'll work, and that's not a promise.
And that, you know what? That's fair. As long as you have that exact same energy when there's something that you desire for your partner to do for you to be comfortable, and they say, I'll work on it.
My thing is, if it's something, and this is where I'm at, if it's something that bothers me only, right? That's not detrimental, of course. Nothing extreme.
Can you give us an example so that we
This
can?
cup.
Okay.
Right? If the cup bothers me, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not going to expect my partner who has lived 3 decades before me without me to make an adjustment of something that they cannot understand why it's so big or important to me. Right? It's not something that's catastrophic in our relationship. The rest of the house is clean. Our finances are good. This cup just irritates the shit out of me on the table. And the fact that you don't put a coaster on it drives me insane. Yeah. But I'm going to just say, you know what? I'm going to remove my pride and my ego and force you to understand me and understand why it bothers me. And I'm just going to carry this on.
I
Now,
don't think that it's a
Wait,
sorry.
like take on the action of picking up the cup,
Oh, okay.
right? And just for this example, obviously, as different examples that are bigger require different conversations.
If you feel like that, then that's absolutely fine. But I like that you said that this is not something catastrophic to our relationship, but it also does just open up a communication in this relationship that, hey, I don't like something. Hey, can you fix this? Hey, sure. And it's so simple because it's just a fucking cup. It's very minimal. So that we know when we get to bigger topics, I can be like, babe, I really don't like this. You can explain why. You can explain how you feel about that. And communication, we're used to this shit, right? Like, we don't have to argue about a cup. It's very minimal.
But what happens is what I've experienced and what I'm also witnessing a lot of other people experience is the fact that one person wants somebody to align and adjust with them, even though they don't understand that action's value to them. And they expect for it to be consistent, but that person does not have the same value to that action or behavior. And in fact, is going to make a mistake on it often. Now, if it's something that you can correct yourself, then correct it yourself. Now, obviously, as it grows, what happens is I've already adjusted to picking up this cup and changing my habits. Next thing I know, I have to adjust my schedule to your schedule. And it's a domino effect, and that person ultimately adjusts their entire life or adjust their entire identity and conform to the other person.
Both people adjusting for the
it's
one for the
not
other?
and I feel like I understand what you're saying, but that's also a part of being in a relationship. You guys are learning each other. So if one thing that you need to know about me is that I can't stand mess, if we're living together, please just don't be messy.
Well, I didn't say
and
there's
it's just of course we're talking about one cup, but I'm just
But there are people.
you have to
messy is
adjust.
different because
Okay, but
there's
both
bugs that get involved.
yeah, but there's
a
both
lot of other
people
shit.
that have
That's
to
just-
adjust
that's filthy.
in a relationship.
Yeah, project.
That's poverty. We not talking.
There's
about
two people
But
that
there's
have
al-
to adjust in a
But
relationship.
there's also with mess also clutter in your house.
Yes.
Can also
Yes.
bleed into other areas of your life, business and everything else in your schedule. So I understand things that have a bigger effect. But what I'm saying is we cannot agree to disagree. And the second that we don't agree to disagree and learn to live a harmonious life with each other, agreeing to disagree, we have pride and ego
Mhm.
that we now instill into our relationship, and then it becomes like two beta fish inside of the same tank.
Can I ask a question? And I know we made like a very simplistic example out of a cup. What if it's actually like a real problem? Like something, and I'm not saying that's because for some people that is a real problem.
Mhm.
People who have OCD, people who may have trauma, who may have grown up in with parents who are hoarders.
Damn.
It could be an issue. But um I kind of want us to consider this same topic, but with like a more I don't want to say important, but like a more
Serious.
an issue that has more consequence.
Something relatable like finances.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody's got to do with finances. So somebody would be overspending, and somebody would be
Yes.
somebody's overspending.
I think well, I believe that is different when we're talking about something that affects both parties. If you're constantly putting me at risk or having me in conflicting situations or making me or putting me in an uncomfortable predicament, that's when the situation is different. When it's something, like I said, that is more so only to your preference, that's something that I believe we got to take on and own that it's our preference and not our partner's preference. But if something is directly or even indirectly affecting me, even a cluttered home, and let's say I have to balance out a schedule, a very busy schedule, and there's actually studies that a cluttered house actually affects, everything else in your life. Um, not severely, but
No, it affects.
that's something that's different, right? Because obviously your habits and or behaviors are bleeding into my personal life as well. That's where you have to draw the line, and there has to be adjustments that are made, and if not, you need to remove yourself from the situation. But when it becomes something like a preference, that's when I think we have to have ownership. Like, that's my preference, not my partner's preference. It really doesn't kill anything in our relationship.